Yep, we're good, Tom.
We're ready to
Good,
go. Let's go.
good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. First question is Ry Rivard from Politico.
Hi, thank you. Can you talk a little bit more about the relationship with the Gateway Development Commission? For those of us who haven't been following this, my impression is sort of Christie killed the thing, sort of fell apart, then sort of walked away from it, hasn't gotten money to build it, and you're coming in to manage the project. Can you sort of talk about that? You know, you used to build things, Lincoln, GW. Why not this one?
Let me go back to the beginning, which there was a conscious decision made by the two states, New York and New Jersey, to create a special purpose entity, the Gateway Development Commission. It happened in 2015, and to manage the project, to assemble the financing to support it, and then to both bring in the resources, the construction contracts, but essentially to run the project from beginning to end. That was a decision by the two states. Actually, it was then approved, legislation passed by the New York and New Jersey legislature twice. So the framework here was a very conscious decision to choose a special purpose entity, the Gateway Development Commission, to construct the project, and that is exactly what's happening. In fact, they announced, at their board meeting on September 11th that they had let the first two contracts, one a construction contract and one a construction management contract. So that's the framework here. The conscious decision, the Port Authority didn't walk away from anything. There was a conscious decision by the two states to assign the responsibility for the project to the Gateway Development Commission. The two states very recently asked the Port Authority to support the Gateway Development Commission in a specific aspect of construction management. And that is actually what happened. Was discussions between the two entities. The Gateway Development Commission is procuring the construction companies. They are holding the contracts. They are running the project. Port Authority recognizes that this is one of the most important infrastructure projects in the country. We were asked to assist. That's now been reduced to writing. We will be providing on what is the largest single element of the construction, meaning the core and shell, the actual building of the tunnel. We will be supporting the Gateway Development Commission in building that, but we will be providing them construction management services, and we will also be supporting them in providing code inspection services. So very targeted, very specific, and very responsive to what the Gateway Development Commission thought would assist it in carrying out its primary responsibility for building out the project.
Look, Gateway owns it. We were restricted for many reasons from quote owning it. As Rick said, we have carved out a very small role in helping out with the purchasing, which I think was a great credit to the Port Authority, and also managing the core and shell. And it's very restricted to that, along with the financial contribution, which you talked about at the public.
Right. I want to emphasize the financial contribution. The big support that the Port Authority is providing is $2.7 billion. And that is a very important, obviously, component of the local share of financing the project. And the board has twice approved that, and we are totally committed to providing it.
As we stated publicly, the working with Chris Calori and his staff has been really professional, rewarding. It's been collaborative, and we see great things from Gateway and under Chris's leadership. Yes, Tom.
All right, we have three. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
3 virtual questions. First is Larry Higgs with New Jersey Advanced Media.
Hey, Larry.
How's it going?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Great. Okay. My question is about the Outer Bridge Crossing widening study. I watched a video of a car crossing the bridge, and it shows basically two lanes in each direction with no shoulder. My question is, where or how could the existing span be widened, and wouldn't the money be better spent on basically studying building a new bridge?
Larry, we were asked to do a widening study. I mean, but take a step back. The Outer Bridge crossing is obviously outdated. So what do? So what's underway is a significant amount of work on the span in terms of near-term repairs and what I guess I would call midterm strengthening of the bridge, just in terms of managing it in its current state. Right now, the next step, as I say, we were asked to do it, is to study one particular option, but it will inform what other options are available in terms of looking to the future. And the first step is going to be to carry out this study. It will look at traffic. It will look at all aspects of both what the bridge needs immediately and particularly whether it can be widened. And we're not prejudging it. We'll carry the study out.
The follow question is basically, you mentioned there's one particular option that's being looked at. Can you describe that option? Are we talking about building lanes, either double decker on the bridge, or what is that option?
Well, the engineers are going to decide that option, which is, as a matter of logic, you could look at widening the lanes, you could look at adding a lane, but what we were asked to do was to study the option of widening the bridge as a nearer term and less expensive option, one that can be accomplished more quickly than rebuilding it. And so that's what the study's going to look at, and it will be the engineers who decide what options are practicable, and they will have a free hand in deciding the scope of the study.
Thanks, Larry. Tom?
Our next question is Colleen Wilson with the record.
Hi, thank you. Just wanted an update to see if there was any update on the congestion pricing study that the Port Authority has undertaken, and when that might be released to the public.
Well, we have that study underway, but we take a step back. The decisions with respect to congestion pricing are going to be made by the MTA. They obviously they have had conversations and input from a variety of sources. In terms of what we want to look at is what are the implications for the Port Authority. And right now there are multiple options, and in a environmental assessment study, for the MTA has made clear that none of the options that are actually in that study are likely to be the precise option that comes out of it. So at this point, we're trying to evaluate the potential impacts on the Port Authority. But until we have a specific option that they're moving forward with, we're not going to have a document to release to the public.
Thank you.
Next question, Tom.
Last question is Kevin Dugan with Streets Blog.
Hi, thanks for taking my question. I also have questions about the Outer Bridge Crossing study. First one is there any plan either in this study or just in your work in general to add pedestrian or bike access to that bridge?
Well, the study will look at widening the bridge. And I think with in today's world, in terms of less carbon intensive transportation alternatives, the widening study will have to cover the question of whether there's a path that is part of or could be part of any future option for moving forward with the bridge.
Thanks. And then, with the well-established phenomenon of induced demand, where if you expand highway infrastructure, it can quickly fill back up with more cars. Are you worried at all that this, any widening could backfire and increase congestion on the bridge?
Well, that has to be part of the study. I think induced demand is a very good point. The study should cover all aspects of how to move forward on the bridge, and induced demand is what will have to be part of the study.
Is that it, Tom?
That concludes the Q&A. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.